Amendment does exist, and we have that protects you from a tyrannical government. That's what it does. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. That's what it specifically was designed for. So we have the right to bear arms, and we are very peaceful. But the problem is every time we try to organize, we get some type of infiltration, we get some type of violent attacks against us. Not that we're perpetrating, that have been perpetrated against us. That's what you need to address.
Okay, well, we should address that.
Yeah, that's what needs to be addressed.
Let's just take that as an issue because I think it's sufficient. You brought it up twice, and I think it's a valid point, and we need to address it. There probably hasn't been any opportunity for a public forum on this point. Here's what happened. In Tampa, at a meeting a few months back, a 13-year-old boy brought a pistol, it is alleged, to the parking lot where the group met in Tampa for a purpose similar to this. And there were two other men who carried weapons on them that were drinking a beer out in their pickup truck in the parking lot. Apparently perfectly legal. And the father of the boy was inside the meeting room or inside the restaurant. So what happened is the boy pulled his weapon out and brandished this pistol that he had, and the police immediately, apparently, were lying in wait and converged down on this parking lot, took the two men and disarmed them and put them in handcuffs, roughly, and then took the boy and got on top of him on the ground and disarmed him and handcuffed him. The father came out wanting to know what in the world is going on. The cop said, "Did you know that your son had a pistol?" He said, "Yes." Immediately took him into custody, arrested him, and handcuffed him. They took the boy and his father to jail and let the other two men go. The next week, there was another meeting. It seemed like there were sour feelings toward the two men who had been armed, that there were maybe government plants or something. Some of the people thought this, maybe some didn't. I'm not really sure of all of that. I just simply have heard rumors about it.
Well, I can tell you specifically because I was there and I was the host of that meeting.
Right, so what happened?
Okay. First of all, let me come up here. I'll tell you about you. Let's get it straight, okay? First of all, we had a meeting. We've been meeting for about a year and a half, okay? And we had a group of what you want to call sovereigns, truth seekers, freedom seekers, etc. That's what the name of our group was, freedom seekers. I believe, I can't remember exactly, but what happened was we may have had infiltrators in the meeting or not. I don't care about no infiltrators being in the meeting. Come right on out to my meeting. I'm not running from them because we're not doing anything illegal. Okay, we're not doing anything illegal. We're trying to follow the laws of the land since the government is violating the laws of the land. Okay, and that's what the people are supposed to do. Responsible people are supposed to stand up against the government if it's not representative of the people. That's what our meeting was about. I did not want any damn leaders in my meeting. I wanted individuals that came there, and we shouldn't even use that word, but we wanted people to come there and share their experiences of what they had in the movement. And we had a very successful meeting. We probably ran one of the largest meetings in Florida once we changed the platform, because we had this boring traditional platform that wasn't going nowhere, and we had to put some fire under it. And that's what I'm about, putting some fire into stuff. I can't sit around talking to these educated idiots and these so-called intellectuals that always want to teach you something about the nonsense they learned in those silly colleges and educational institutions. We are common people, and we want results. I don't care about all this educated nonsense that they give us. That's just a detour and a detraction from the truth and reality of what's going on. And that's what our meeting tried to address. Now, yeah, we may have had plans. Some people accused the two gentlemen of being plants. Here's what happened. There was a 13-year-old child that brought a gun to the meeting, unloaded, to get it sized for a holster. I thought it was crazy, but I didn't know anything about it. Now, one of the gentlemen who was supposed to have been a licensed rifle or firearms expert and trainer told this child to bring the gun to the meeting. Now, they were coming from, we were centrally located right here in Tampa, Florida. They were coming from, I presume, near Brandon, and the child was coming from the Ocala area. So our place was ideal for them to meet to do the sizing of this gun. Now, my question all along was to the so-called plants, and I wasn't worried if they were plants or not. I thought the guys were great, okay? But the point is, Why would this licensed trainer tell a kid, firearms instructor, tell a young child, a 13-year-old child, to bring a weapon to our meeting? Now that was confusing, and that indicates that maybe some type of infiltration activity was going on, possibly. Okay, because all he has to do to me is tell me the type of gun you have, and then I'll bring a holster for it. I'm sure you can go on the internet or somewhere as a licensed firearms expert and know what type of pistol this kid has and just bring the holster, instead of having the kid to bring the firearm to our meeting. One of the most controversial meetings in Florida, they do this. This firearms expert tells the child to bring the weapon to the meeting. Okay? Now, the father wasn't aware of it. Okay? He didn't just automatically agree to it. He resisted all along by saying, well, listen, I didn't know that my child had the firearm. I really didn't know. But it was a phone conversation between them, and maybe the phone conversation was tapped. Okay? We should be used to that in this type of movement, that the phone conversation was tapped. So the kid brought the firearm, and then they set out in the parking lot while we were getting ready to convene the meeting inside. Now, some people come running in telling me that there was a commotion going on in the parking lot, so myself and the child's father ran out to the parking lot to address the issue. What's going on? And why in the hell do they need 30, 20, or however many police officers to deal with a child with a pistol? That he wasn't waving it and brandishing it or trying to, he just getting his size, and when the police told him, instructed him what to do, he did it. But they used excessive force on the child, slammed him on the ground, etc. Okay? Now, in that episode, it indicated to a lot of the people that attended the meeting, we knew how controversial we were, okay, to this government and to other parties that control the government. So therefore, people in the meeting got a little uneasy. And I was thinking, okay, well if they're going to roughhouse us and strong-arm us into doing this, maybe we should disband the meeting and relocate elsewhere, redirect it. And that's what Bob, a good friend of mine, came in and said, well, and he came with a great idea. Maybe we should learn the law, etc., and disband this meeting and go elsewhere. Okay, that's fine. But when you all come here, I want you all to know what really happened there. Okay? It may have been an infiltrator, it may not have. But all the indications are that it was an infiltrator. Because why would a firearms expert tell a child to bring a gun to the meeting? Okay? We had other people in the meeting that we had suspected of doing this type of activity as well. But at the opening of my meeting, I always told people, you're all welcome. Infiltrators or not, FBI, CIA, Mossad, whatever, you're all welcome. I don't care because we're not doing anything wrong. Maybe you will learn something as well from this meeting. Okay? Maybe they will learn something as well because we had an open book. They could see anything that we do, you can go do your own research. Okay, it's not like it's some hidden material. We use the Uniform Commercial Code. We study adverse possession. These are all laws that have been created by this government. And all we're doing is trying to read between the lines and say, what is it that they're not telling us? How can we remedy ourselves? How can we stop the government from abusing us and the banks? How can we stop them from abusing our rights? What can we do as individuals, as people, to change these conditions? So we did research, and we had people from all over the area that were doing tremendous amounts of research. People that had expertise in all areas, from dealing with IRS and the taxes, to the Federal Reserve, to the Constitution, adverse possession, everything. That's what our meeting was about, and it was a successful meeting. We had 40 to 60 people that came out every Wednesday to this meeting because people were tired of all this egotism of one person trying to lead a meeting, and I wasn't the one for it. I was hosting the meeting. And that's what everybody liked. I still like that. I don't care about some one figurehead trying to say, oh, well, listen to me, I'm going to tell you what to do, and then all you puppets run and do it. We're not about that nonsense. Each and every one of you have a brain, and you should exercise your rights as an individual. And you come here as a group, and you tell us, okay, I don't like this, I don't like that, we should do this, we should do that, and we as a group will make that decision. Not some individual, because that's what we've had a problem with all the groups that have been trying to meet for a long time in this city, and in this state, and across the United States. We get one figurehead, and when that figurehead gets attacked, then everybody runs and scatters like little scared sheep. So I figured that we would empower each person. Each person needs to be empowered so that when they come down on us, we say, we're not doing anything wrong, let's stick together and make this thing happen. And that's what Bob is doing, But you know, I'm a little hyper guy. I want to get right to the damn point. I want you all to know this news that we're not a bunch of radicals running around with damn guns trying to kill somebody. That's your government that does that. That's the government that does that. We're trying to defend ourselves from their attacks. That's what we're trying to do. And that's what this meeting should be about, if we're going to talk about anything, because the government has killed more people than anybody. Not Ruby Ridge, not Waco, not MOVE, or any other group that was attacked, fictitiously and fraudulently attacked by this government.
So what did you do? So what did you do in terms of a courtroom solution? Anything?
No, we were going to visit the courtrooms. We had experts even in that field. I mean, Bob came. I don't know if Bob.
Did you start?
I don't know if Bob, yes, we did. We had various groups. We did a whole lot of stuff. And I don't want to go into too much detail on that because people may not want to be recognized for what they did. But we covered those areas, just like I said earlier. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I want you to know that these type of meetings are happening even to this day all over the country, and this government is attacking these meetings. Yep. Okay? And there's nobody, if they bring in firearms to these meetings, most of these people have legal firearms. Okay? And I don't have no problem with a person bringing a gun to my meeting if they got a legal firearm. They have the right to do that, then do it. I don't have a problem. I'm sorry, you had a question too? Sorry.
Well,
I sit down. I just wanted to say that to make sure we